What up, y'all? I'm Bokeh Bob, and today we're going to be checking out a new switch that Keybay Tech sent out to me for a review. This is a new budget switch brought to us by Gateron, and it is called the Everfree Curry Switch. Before we get started, I always like to make it clear that these switches were sent to me for a review from Keybay Tech. However, all opinions are my own and from my experience using the switches. I usually type on these switches for about a week before dropping a switch review. Also, it would be greatly appreciated if you can like and most importantly subscribe to the channel, as it is a great way to support the channel and allows me to bring more reviews like these to you in the future. We're closing in on 500 subs, so please subscribe. Now, let's check these switches out. Another budget switch on the channel. At a price point of 30 cents a switch, this is considered budget in today's switch market. Some important things to know about this switch: it is a full 4mm travel, so it's not a long pole stem like most switches you see today entering the market. It comes factory lube, which is actually pretty good from Gateron, and it is very smooth stock. These are for sure to pass my lazy test and are usable right out of the box. The Curry switch is also very quiet, so if you're in the market for a switch that isn't going to annoy you or your partner, I would recommend this switch. Especially if you do not want to go down the silent switch route, since silent switches do tend to cause switches to feel mushy when you're typing on them. Let's crack these open, check out the specs, and of course, most importantly, we'll see how they sound. After cracking these open, we see the top housing is a transparent or milky polycarbonate. The bottom housing is nylon. We have a full 4mm travel palm stem. And lastly, a 50-gram short 15mm single stage spring. As noted before, they are factory lube, and I haven't noticed any weird noises coming from the leaf and or spring, which that's always great. Before we hear these switches, I always like to remind everyone that the mode Envoy you see in all my switch review videos is always built exactly the same: palm plate, no foam, and GMK keycaps. Let's see how they sound. These switches are for sure different from what you're used to seeing on the channel, as I tend to review louder switches. Let's go over what I think the perks and the quirks are. Starting off with the perks, right off the bat, they're usable stock. They're very smooth, and I hear no weird noises coming from them, as mentioned before. Now, let's get to the sound. These are very quiet, almost like a silent linear, except you get a slight clack on the upstroke, which can either be a perk or quirk depending on what you prefer out of your switch and or what you're looking for. If you're looking for a quiet switch, this is a great option. However, if you're looking for anything louder, either on the clacky high-pitched side or deeper thockier side, I'd say stay away from this switch. I would compare the sound coming from this switch to be very similar to a silent linear, except for the upstroke, which I feel most of the sound comes from. As of most new switches on the market, I can't really find any quirks to the Curry switch unless you specifically are looking for something louder. Now this comes down to my recommendation. If you like the way it sounds or are looking for a quiet alternative to a silent switch, I would say give these a try. They're a great price point and are from a pretty known and established manufacturer. If you're looking for a louder switch, right now I'm recommending everyone to try out any of the HMX switches. They're outstanding. What's your favorite budget switch at the moment? Anything at or below 30 cents a switch, I would love to hear your recommendation and what the audience is going towards right now. As always, check out some of my content here, and remember to like and subscribe, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Next week, we'll be reviewing a new budget Alice keyboard that comes in at only $99 ship. Bokeh Bob out.